what are some of the bold predictions that you want to throw down? And I'll make you a promise. The ones that don't pan out, we'll mysteriously lose them. The ones that do, we'll cut those up into nice, pretty audio that you can broadcast for everybody with a timestamp on it for sure.
Excellent. This is for okay, good. This is for the editing room. Okay, first, this one I'm actually pretty excited about. This is something I wanted to talk about in the Sleepers and Bust episode. But Tennessee tight end Jared Cook will finish the season as a top 10 tight end in the NFL. A lot of factors going for him, not the least of which was in 2010. He played almost 54% of the Tennessee snaps over the last 5 games and ranked as one of those top 10 fantasy tight ends during that time. Granted, there were guys like Dallas Clark and Jermichael Finley missing from those ranks, but I love what's happening in the system. I love what his opportunities look like in Tennessee. I love that they've got a quarterback situation that needs to gel. And apparently I'm not alone. Some of my thunder was stolen by Jim Wyatt, beat writer over in Tennessee, who believes that Jared Cook will lead the Titans in receptions this year. So I've got some pretty good company there, but that's my first bold prediction. Jared Cook, a guy who you're probably not even thinking of drafting, will in fact finish the year as a top 10 tight end.
All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, Joe, with 10 being super insane bold, 1 being the least, I'm going to give that one a 7 on the boldness scale. Joe, where are you ranking that one on Jared Cook, and do you agree or disagree?
I'd give it a 6. I'm pretty much there. This is a guy I've rostered in a lot of dynasty leagues and keeper leagues, waiting for this to happen. So, hey, it'll be nice if it comes to fruition. So, yeah, I can't say I haven't heard of it, though, and he's absolutely right. If you look at the last few games, not only were they really forcing the ball over to his side, but he's starting to show an array of different routes. He's actually playing the game of football, whereas his first couple of years, it's just more the freak of nature athletically. I mean, he's that Vernon Davis type athlete. Now he's got the whole package.
All right, so let's get bold prediction number 2, and Joe and I will rank these because I've come up with some. Somebody told me one of mine on the boldness scale was about a 15 because they said I'm absolutely insane. I'm going to be interested to see what Joe thinks about it in a little bit. So we're going to rank all these bold predictions that you give us, and then Joe will rank mine, and I'll rank his coming up a little bit later. So that's the first one. Jared Cook will be a top 10 tight end in 2011. What's the second bold prediction coming from Fantasy-O-Matic?
All right, here's my 15. Don't hold this against the algorithm by any means, but this is my 15 level one. Sorry, Dolphins fans, but Chad Henne will finish the season as a top 15 quarterback. Yes, I know he barely has a job right now, but he certainly has the faith of Sperano somehow. Don't know how that happened. Certainly had a solid preseason, won back the hearts of the crowd, connected with Brandon Marshall. Last week, of course, we all saw that. But if you really look inside of his metrics, he posted 7 15-plus point fantasy games in 2010. And to give you perspective, Jay Cutler was the top 15 back after the 2010 season, and he only managed to score 16 fantasy points a game. Now, Henne has a lot of games he has to bring up to that 15-point level, but this year, you might not know, Henne has the second easiest projected strength of schedule of any quarterback in the NFL. So, I mean, even a fool can at least get an opportunity with that. And according to my buddy over at ESPN, Casey Joyner, he also has the 7th easiest matchup strength for all of the cornerbacks and safeties that are facing his entire receiving core, including Anthony Fasano, who kind of gets thrown in here as well. So if you look at his 502 passing attempts last year over 14 starts, if he would have done a 16-game season last year, he could have reached the 550 attempt mark. They got a new offense in place, which is a sort of hybrid West Coast offense, which is actually to give him more opportunities for some of those dump-off passes. So there it is, folks. Chad Henne, you heard it, Dolphins fans. Yell it from the stands. Chad Henne is going to be a top 15 fantasy quarterback in 2010.
Well, the chat room's been pretty quiet until you said that, and we're getting to what Henne's going to get benched. They're all saying that that's a 10. Someone else saying that they think that Henne's going to get benched in week 2, over under week 2. So they're liking that result. Now, Joe is, as I am to T.O., Joe is to Brandon Marshall. So, Joe, you liking the fact that the metrics are going good for your boy Brandon Marshall and Chad Henne there in Miami?
I love that, but I can't give that. I'm still shocked. I can't even give it a 10. I'm going to have to give that a Great Odin's Raven. That is shocking.
All right. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. I'm not sure how many of them you have here, so we'll move on to prediction number 3 from Fantasy-O-Matic. This is the Bold Predictions Show 2011 style. What do you got for us at number 3?
All right, Mario Manningham, a guy that I've been really high on. I couldn't get any higher on him except that I found out a piece of news that makes me think that this next bold prediction, Mario Manningham will outscore Hakeem Nicks. Manningham's going to outscore Nicks in fantasy PPR scoring formats. And this has a lot to do with the fact that, of course, Nicks is the second most double-covered guy in the NFL last season. That is not going to stop. Of course, Manningham's going to line up on the side of him. He's had a full off-season to get reps. But one of the interesting little nuggets that I found out about Manningham is that they can't find anybody else in New York to line up in the slot. So there's going to be 3 wide receiver sets where he's going to be lining up in the slot, and there's also other formations where he would have normally come off the field in that second receiver spot that he's going to stay on the field and be part of that passing offense. So look for him as going to be sort of a hybrid of old Steve Smith Giants when he was actually good, and then the Hakeem Nicks that we all came to know last year. So that's probably not so bold. Nugget there is Manningham will outscore Nicks in fantasy PPR scoring format in 2010.
I'm going to say that's pretty bold. I'm a big fan of Nicks, and I'm a big fan of Manningham, but for them to outscore him to outscore Nicks, I think is going to be pretty tough. So I'm going to say that that's a 10 for sure. The Rabbit Hog in the chat says he likes this guy. He's got some huevos. I'm not sure if that's how you spell huevos. I thought maybe it is. I don't know. But Joe, what are you thinking on the call of Manningham outscoring Taz's boy Hakeem Nicks in 2011?
Hey, not just Taz's boy. I had him in all the leagues. I've got him in all the leagues this year. I'm expecting a big season, so it's very surprising. I'll give that a 9, only for the simple reason that I have to also throw in the fact that Nicks has been very injury-prone throughout his first 2 seasons. So if he suffers yet another injury, yeah, Manningham is just it's just science.
All right, so fantasy. Before we let you go, how many more you got for us, real quick?
All right, I got one. I'll just put two quick bullet points for you. The first of which got a little bit of wind blown off of it here with the recent news here, but Bernard Scott will overtake Cedric Benson as the lead back in Cincinnati, and not because of injury or jail time. That is the one nugget, and then my final one is a one-liner. Gary Kubiak will be fired as the head coach of the Texans. Not have anything to do with fantasy. Just thought I'd throw that one out there to listen to it in December.
Well, we've got Rabbit Hog in the chat who is admiring you. He says he picked Houston for the Super Bowl. So apparently you guys are on totally different pages there. But well, I hate to cut you short, man. We could definitely talk all night. We're only scheduled 10 minutes left on the show, but I did schedule it for a 90-minute bonus edition tonight because I know that we weren't going to get to everything we needed to. But we definitely appreciate you stopping by. We want to encourage everybody to head to fantasyomatic.com, just like it sounds. Fantasy, the letter OMATIC. Follow them on Twitter, the same address, @FantasyOmatic, and you will be one of the first people to know when the algorithm is released. But a lot of cool stuff on that website. I can definitely say guys put in a ton of hard work, and when you do all that hard work yourself, it definitely benefits because you remember things much more than you would if you're just reading somebody else's stuff. So now it's our chance to reap for free, as he reminds everybody, the everyday low price of free. You can check it all out there. So we definitely appreciate you taking some time to do that with us. And we'll definitely get you back leading into Week 3 to talk about some of the top 5 guys that the algorithm likes in its inaugural season, and we'll look forward to tracking that. And like I said, if the predictions hold true, Andy's got them recorded in the back. If they don't, we'll somehow lose the tape, man. But we appreciate you taking some time. Enjoy the Packers game next week, buddy, and we'll talk to you in a few weeks when the algorithm's up and running, bro.
Thanks, guys. Can't wait. Thanks again for having me on. I'll look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.
All right. Later, buds.
Bye.
So, Joe, like I said, I scheduled it for a long